Yeah, yeah. Y'all finna take these this out of me. Go back wall. Go.
The rap game will never pull up to a jeweler the same way again. Not after this. Sauce Walka ripped his grills straight out of his mouth on camera. Kodak Black said he wanted his $50,000 back. Chief Keef drove to a third-party store in California and ran a diamond tester on pieces he had been wearing for years. Not because he expected bad results, but because the doubt had already crept in and could not be ignored. Lil Durk posted a survival guide telling the whole culture to stop trusting blindly and start verifying. And Johnny Dang, the man who built a $200 million empire from $100 a month at a Houston flea market, now has his name attached to something he never survived before. A fraud allegation. With an insider who was in the building. With clients who spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and are now questioning every piece they own. And with a former employee on camera saying the words that sent the entire hip-hop jewelry world into a spiral. Everybody who got anything from Johnny, check. Because that boy be putting that CVD. Lab-grown diamonds. Sold as natural VVS stones. At natural VVS prices. To clients who trusted him with their money and their image for 20 years. Whether that allegation is proven or not, the conversation it started cannot be unstarted. The crack is already in the foundation. And nothing Johnny Dang posts on Instagram is closing it back up. This is the full story of what happened in March 2026 and why the whole rap world is now testing their ice. March 2026. Sauce Walka takes it to the streets. This is not a casual complaint from someone who walked in once and had a bad experience. Sauce Walka is a Houston rapper who had been rocking with Johnny Dang for over 20 years. In that time, he was dropping serious bread at the shop. A Cuban chain for $500,000. Custom grills. Pendants. Bracelets. Each piece running anywhere between $50,000 and $100,000 at a time. This was one of Dang's longest-running, highest-spending day ones in the city of Houston. And here is what Sauce Walka said publicly when he finally had enough. Santa wanted to give me some free that was way smaller than this. I don't want no free. He was not just beefing about the size of a free piece being too small. He was saying something deeper. He was saying that Johnny Dang had been blessing out-of-town celebrities with bigger stones, better deals, and more love. While Sauce, who had been holding Dang down in Houston for 2 solid decades, was getting offered to step down. After all that loyalty, after all that bread spent, Sauce Walka felt like he had been played for a sucker. I want some my money and I want to go over the top. Best of the best. Biggest of the biggest. Make it work. But the real heat was not about the size of the piece. The real heat was about what was actually inside the jewelry. Sauce Walka's core accusation was this. Johnny Dang had allegedly been sliding CVD diamonds, lab-grown stones cooked up in a controlled environment in a matter of weeks, into custom pieces that were being sold as natural VVS diamonds. The money gap between those two things is not small. A 1-carat natural diamond can run up to $10,000. A 1-carat lab-grown stone, a few hundred. Sauce Walka was out here paying top-shelf prices for stones that were not top-shelf. He called it getting finessed. And in the hood, getting finessed by somebody you trusted for 20 years hits completely different from getting finessed by a stranger. To make sure everybody understood he was done, he did not just talk. He walked. He pulled up to Plug Geo, a jeweler known as Jose Mata who had actually worked inside Dang's shop before leaving to start his own operation, and commissioned a brand new permanent diamond grill set for $1 million. Then he sat in front of a camera and announced exactly what he was doing. Pulling out his Johnny Dang grills and installing the new ones. Setting a new standard for the whole state of Texas. This was not even the first time these two had gone at it. Back in August 2024, Sauce Walka had already debuted a grill from Plug Geo on social media, which had sent Dang to Instagram to post a pointed multi-part video calling out the disrespect. But in 2024, the smoke was mostly about business respect and loyalty. By March 2026, Sauce had escalated it to a completely different level. Now he was saying the diamonds themselves were not real. Kodak Black had his own issues with Dang too, though his complaint was coming from a different angle. A 2024 video of Kodak started making rounds across hip-hop media showing him going in on a custom grill set Dang had built for him. A set that ran him $50,000. Yeah. I'm going to take these out of me. He said the fit was trash. Said his bite was not the same with them in. Said the pieces were too big and too bulky, sitting in his mouth in a way that made them unwearable day to day. He said straight up that he wanted his old grills back. $50,000 and he was not rocking them. Kodak's issue was different from Sauce Walka's. He was not coming at Dang about the diamond game. His complaint was about craftsmanship, about spending real money and not getting a piece that actually worked for him. But both situations pointed at the same outcome: artists pulling up to one of the most famous jewelers in hip-hop, spending serious money and leaving unsatisfied. Two artists, two very public complaints, two different reasons, but the same name at the center of both of them. And then a third voice jumped in. One that hit harder than either Sauce Walka or Kodak, because this one was not coming from a client looking in from the outside. It was coming from somebody who had been inside the building. Plug Geo was not making noise from the outside looking in. He had been inside Johnny Dang's operation. On the floor. Deep in the production process. Close enough to see exactly what was going into the pieces being shipped out to some of the biggest names in hip-hop. That is what gave his words a completely different kind of weight when he stepped in front of a camera in March 2026 and started talking. He claimed he had been generating $9 million in revenue for the shop in a single year. And all he was asking for was a 4% commission. Instead, he said Dang was giving him 2% and $10 an hour. When he pushed for a raise, Dang offered him $2 extra an hour. What is a $2 raise going to do for me and my kids? The pay grievance was real. But the accusation that sent the internet into a complete frenzy had nothing to do with his paycheck. It was about what was happening to the diamonds going into the jewelry being sold to those clients. Everybody who's watching, if you got anything from Johnny, check. Because that boy be putting that CVD. He was talking about CVD diamonds. Lab-grown stones being slid into pieces that were priced and presented as natural VVS diamonds. He said clients had already come back to the shop with pieces that had been tested elsewhere, and the tests were coming back flagging lab-grown stones instead of natural ones. He said he did not have answers for those clients. He told them to go ask Johnny directly because the production decisions were above his pay grade. I've had several clients who come in and they'll be like, bro, why my diamond tested CVD? Well, I don't know. Y'all got to ask Johnny. That's Johnny's production. That right there was the most explosive part of Plug Joe's statement. He was not speaking in generalities. He was describing specific clients walking back into the shop with specific pieces that had already failed independent diamond tests, and he was pointing the finger squarely at the top of the operation. The escalation. Dang's own interview made everything worse. Here is where it gets genuinely dangerous for Johnny Dang. The reason the allegations hit as hard as they did was not just about who was saying it. It was because the underlying concern was something the industry already knew was possible. Lab-grown diamonds had been getting cheaper and more accessible for years. Stones that looked chemically identical to natural diamonds could be produced in a lab in weeks for a fraction of the cost. The temptation to substitute and the near impossibility of detecting it with the naked eye, that was not some secret. Plug Joe's claims tapped into a conversation that had already been simmering underground in the jewelry game. And here is the part that made it even messier for Dang. He had already gone on record about exactly this issue months before any of it blew up publicly. In a September 2025 interview with KHOU 11 in Houston, Dang had talked openly about the lab-grown diamond market and how badly it was disrupting the natural diamond business. He acknowledged that the two types of stones look nearly identical to the naked eye. He said a regular consumer could not tell the difference. He even said he was taking losses on his natural diamond inventory because of how much the market had shifted. He had already been on camera telling the world that the visual difference was almost undetectable. And now a former employee and a former client were saying that is exactly what had been used against the people spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in his shop. Whether the accusations were proven or not, the timing could not have been worse. The legal reality. $6.7 million in unpaid tabs and a diss track. Before the fake diamond story ever hit the internet, Johnny Dang was already in a very public battle. Just a different one. In early January 2026, Dang dropped a series of direct-to-camera videos calling out multiple rappers by name for sliding on payments for custom jewelry they had already received and walked out with. These were not vague hints. He was not being diplomatic. "Where my money, man? I need my money. Where the money at?" He put Sean Kingston on blast. He put Rich the Kid on blast. He said they had received custom pieces and had not squared up their debt. But he was not done. Dang went further, claiming that the total amount owed to him across multiple artists had climbed past $6,700,000. The names tied to that figure, according to coverage that followed, included Burna Boy, Justin Bieber Central C, and Lil Baby alongside Kingston and Rich the Kid. The Burna Boy situation came with its own receipts. Dang claimed that Burna Boy had wanted a custom watch that duplicated a recent purchase. When Dang asked for a $350,000 down payment upfront, Burna refused to put the bread up. Dang turned the job down, then went on camera to declare that whatever watch Burna ended up with was not an authentic Johnny Dang original, implying the alternative could not match his quality. And then Dang did something nobody had ever seen a jeweler do before. He made a rap about it. A full diss track aimed directly at the artists who had not paid their tabs. Named names. Aired the whole situation out in the format hip-hop lives and breathes. It spread everywhere. Instagram Reels, TikTok, Facebook. Nobody had ever seen the plug make a diss track about rappers who owed him money. That was a first. The move was calculated in the way that only somebody who truly understood hip-hop culture could calculate it. Dang was not waiting on attorneys and certified mail. He was using visibility and social pressure, the same tools that have driven hip-hop since day one, to demand accountability from people who had taken his work and not paid for it. But what the whole debt situation revealed beyond the drama was something about how the entire operation ran. High-value custom pieces were regularly leaving the shop before full payment was secured. The whole system ran on trust. And when trust broke down, there was no clean fallback. The diss track was what happened when the handshake agreement fell apart. By the time the diamond allegations broke in March 2026, Dang was already fighting a war on two different fronts simultaneously. One over missing bags. One over the legitimacy of the stones inside his pieces. Both playing out live in public in front of millions of followers with no filter in between. The bigger picture. Chief Keef, Lil Durk, and a culture testing its own jewelry. Once the allegations hit, they did not stay contained to Sauce Walka and Plug Geo. The story moved through the hip-hop world exactly the way major drama always does. Through social media. Through word of mouth. Through conversations happening on camera and off. And the response from artists did not stop at comments. Some of them started physically testing the jewelry they were already wearing. Chief Keef was the loudest example. Chief Keef had been a Johnny Dang client for years. His connection to the brand went back far enough to show up in his music and his public image. He had never beefed with Dang publicly, never taken his business elsewhere. But in the days right after Sauce Walka's statements dropped in March 2026, Chief Keef made a deliberate trip to K Jewelers in California. Not to shop, not to browse, specifically to run a diamond test on pieces he had already copped from Johnny Dang. He tested his pendant. He tested his diamond watch. Both pieces went under a professional diamond tester. Both came back with a green light, registering as authentic diamonds under standard thermal and conductivity checks. The results went in Dang's favor. But here is where it gets dangerous. That was not the part of the story people were talking about. What had everybody locked in was the fact that Chief Keef felt like he needed to test it all. He did not slide back to Dang's shop for a private conversation. He did not reach out behind closed doors. He pulled up to a third-party store in California, in public, and ran the test where people could see it happen. That choice said everything. It said the questions being raised about Dang's work were serious enough to actually act on, even for a client who had zero prior issues with the man. Lil Durk's contribution was more general but landed just as heavy. An Instagram story from Lil Durk started circulating everywhere during the wave of discussions following Sauce Walka's allegations. In it, he addressed the culture with a warning that did not put any name in the post but did not need to. He said people needed to stop buying jewelry without knowing what they were getting into. He said a lot of pieces floating around were either fake or overpriced. He said pick one jeweler and stay locked in with them. And then he shifted the accountability, saying he was done blaming rappers and athletes for getting played and was now pointing the finger at sellers who were moving product that did not match what the client paid for. Not a single name was dropped. but it was shared almost exclusively in the context of the Johnny Dang story. Everyone in the culture knew exactly what it was referencing. And coming from Lil Durk, a major artist who had made his own significant jewelry moves over the years, it carried real weight. After those posts started circulating, a full wave of diamond tester content flooded TikTok and YouTube. Regular fans, artists, associates, people from the streets, all pulling out diamond testers and running them over chains, grills, and pendants linked to various jewelers. Results were all over the place. Some pieces passed clean. Others sparked enough debate to fuel several more rounds of online commentary. The trend took on a life of its own and ran for weeks. What was happening underneath all of it was a real reckoning. Hip-hop had built an entire culture around jewelry as the ultimate flex, and the foundation of that whole system was the assumption that the stones inside these $100,000 pieces were exactly what the jeweler said they were. Sauce Walka's allegations put a crack in that foundation. And once the crack was there, no rebuttal video was going to close it back up completely. What happens next? Dang fires back and the culture processes the fallout. Johnny Dang was not going to sit down and take it quietly. In the days after Sauce Walka's statements went wide, he dropped a 4-part Instagram video series. He was not reading from a script. He was not letting a PR team handle it. He showed up personally and spoke directly. The frustration in his voice was real. Sauce, how long we know each other, man? Over some 20 years. I never gave you for free and I never asked for free. He pushed back hard on the idea that he had been sliding Sauce Walka inferior pieces while blessing out-of-town clients with the good stuff. He said the piece he had offered Sauce was a custom design he had put real thought into, built precisely to Sauce's specs, sized to wear comfortably for years without putting unnecessary strain on his mouth. A special design. Very, very special. Make sure it per side. Good side of the diamond smooth so it not be too heavy, too chunky. So you going to wear it for another years without messing your mouth. He posted videos of his team running professional diamond testers across grills, chains, and individual stones inside the shop. He highlighted the advanced equipment his shop uses, including an XRF gun worth over $20,000 used specifically for gold testing and material verification. He went on camera to break down the difference between lab-grown and natural diamonds, acknowledging straight up that they look the same to the naked eye, while maintaining that his high-end pieces for premium clients were built with natural stones. He put the Plug Geo allegation squarely in the category of a bitter ex-employee making noise after leaving to start a competing shop. He pointed to the fact that Sauce Walka had gone directly to Plug Geo for his new $1 million grill as evidence that the two had a shared financial motivation to damage his name. He did not walk anything back. He denied the core claims outright and kept it moving. His InvestFest 2025 interview had already laid out the philosophy behind how he built his operation. Success business. You don't want to rip them up one day, one time, and try to make quick money. That's why a lot of young entrepreneurs failed, because they tried so hard to make money so fast. He pointed to clients like Rick Ross, Floyd Mayweather, and Travis Scott, people who had been spending with him consistently for 15 to 20 years. That history was his defense. That track record was his receipts. But here is the question that no amount of Instagram videos fully answers. If the diamonds were natural all along, why did Plug Geo describe specific clients walking back into the shop with pieces that had already failed independent tests? Why did those clients exist at all? And why did Dang's own September 2025 interview, in which he acknowledged that lab-grown and natural diamonds look identical to the naked eye, become the thing the internet kept coming back to when the story broke? The culture is asking those questions. And right now, the answers exist in private conversations between Dang, his team, and the clients who ran their own tests. Not in Instagram video series. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Do you think Sauce Walka's allegations have real substance, or is this a business rivalry being used to burn down a competitor? Do Chief Keef's positive test results vindicate Dang, or is the real story the fact that he felt the need to test at all? And what does this controversy mean for every rapper who has spent serious money on jewelry without ever asking for certification? Subscribe right now and hit the notification bell. If this situation moves into legal territory, civil suit certifications, or law enforcement involvement, this channel will have the full breakdown the same night it happens. Thanks for watching. If you had a good time, keep the adventure alive by clicking on one of the suggested videos on your screen right now for more amazing content.